Hi guys, good morning. Welcome back to our channel. For those who don't know, this is a Rose Family channel and my name is Rosemary. Hello, welcome. Guys, this morning I've decided to come and do this video. It's been on my heart for a while, and yeah, this morning was the morning that I've decided that yeah, I'm gonna come and do this video. Yeah, basically talking about 2020 and just life in general, my experiences, things that I see happening around me, you know, what I observe, and some pointers on how I think we should move forward, you know, with everything that's going on. Basically, guys, it's just been a tough year. This is like a war without physically seeing it happening, as in you don't see any army, you don't see any, but it's like we've been in a war, you know, everything just changed suddenly, and it's just a new thing for everybody with the pandemic. You know, I know that there's a lot of people struggling because I'm struggling, and you know, we need to share so others can know that they're not in it by themselves, and we can find a way of reaching out to those people, and maybe they can find some form of strength or comfort from, you know, what we share. Yeah, so you know, there's times when you take things for granted, like being able to move around and not think about any restrictions or limitations to our daily lives. We just take things for granted. Sometimes we waste away our time by not doing anything much, etc. But in this time, you want to be around people and you have to be thinking twice about it. You know, you can't just be readily available at the drop of a hat and just be anywhere and everywhere and doing whatever you please. Like, you know, before, we all have to be mindful. Sometimes, you know, we feel so down. You know, there's people out there that's suffering from depression. I suffer from depression. You know, it's something I've suffered with it for years. You know, I've learned to manage it myself, but I have my times when I'm really low, really dark. I don't really want to see anyone. I just want to be left alone, basically, and that's how I tackle mine. I kind of ride out the storm, really. Yeah, so I know there's a lot of that going on at the moment as well, even more so than before. It started when I was young, you know, younger, probably in my 20s. I can't say 20 something. Yeah, that's when it started. I lost a child, and then I was in this whole world of unexplained feelings, and it kind of developed, and there was time when I had to be taking medication for it. And then there's been years past since I started having my children that I haven't taken any, like other children, like from Ramar, my eldest, who's now 17. I haven't taken any medication or anything like that. I just struggle through by myself because I like to kind of, you know, if I find myself really need help, I would go into my doctor and say exactly what's going on, even though there's times that so much challenging things happen in my life that I feel like I do need to probably ask for a bit of help and support, which I have in the past, even not so long ago when I was struggling, when Tilly was really ill. I was really struggling, so I did talk to my doctor, but I didn't follow through with any medication, stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, back to the points that I'm trying to make is like, yeah, we know that there's so much people out there that's struggling with things like that, struggling with how to cope with life in general. Sometimes you know, you have a situation in your family where you can't even explain. Sometimes a day could turn into so much of a negative. It baffles you, like, where did that come from? But I want to encourage you guys out there to ride out the storm, take one day at a time. My coping mechanism is to give things time. I used to be really impatient. When I want something, I just want it straight away, or even the day before I wanted it. But I've learned over the period that it's best to kind of give things time. I've learned those type of things from the areas that I've lived in and the things I've experienced. And just because when I was living in London, I was a lot more carefree. I was so happy-go-lucky, and you know, I didn't learn these life skills about giving things time, because if you don't give it time, you might end up doing something you may regret, or you force your brain to, with so much pressure that you feel like you're exploding because you're not giving the situation time. So I've learned to give things time to marinate, or, you know, and I feel like when I do that, I come through a lot better than if I'm in that state of mind of just wanting it to be fixed straight away, you know. So I think that's such an important lesson that I've learned about giving things time, you know. Yeah, so I just want to encourage everyone out there. You know, I used to be in a state that I kind of wanted to complain. I want to moan about this, that. I'm not a moaning person, but when things don't go right with me, I like to share it. And I used to do that a lot when I was struggling. One is, it's not the case that I just wanted to moan about it. It's the case that I didn't really see anybody talking about their lives and what's going on in it, and I kind of wanted to tap into that realm of like sharing. In the time of going through it, I didn't really come across anybody else much that does that. Maybe later on I did, but not in the space that when I was going through. Because when I was really struggling with my eldest boy, really, when I tell you struggling, really struggling, you know, didn't know how to handle it, didn't know, it's my first child, so all of what was going on, it was just, I'm thinking, why is he not listening? Why is this happening? I was pulling at my hair. It was just a tough time, and that kind of pressed on me, you know, especially triggering the whole depression side, because sometimes I just shut down, you know. So it was a real difficult period. And then, you know, those times I used to share a lot those days on Facebook. I used to share my experiences, you know, because I kind of like have this thing that you kind of just want to get things out, you know. You just don't want to keep it in, because you just feel like it's gonna burden you down too much. And I used to share. Then I started sharing stuff that's happening with my other children later on. And then I went through another phase where I kind of just held back and just coped with what was happening. But the point I'd like to make, the times when I was sharing, it was just to show other people that might be going through that struggle, or going through something similar, or going through struggle in itself, that they're not alone, you know. That sometimes I kind of feel like, oh, it backfired because it was just me exposing my life, and, you know, my child didn't like that, and it was having negative effects. And I'm thinking, you know, why is no one reaching out to me, kind of sharing their lives and experience? And, you know, are their lives perfect? In the end, I realized, no, their lives are not perfect, but sometimes other people might just want to deal with their situation quietly. And that's something I had to learn and understand. But they were going through stuff, you know. I've learned later on that a lot of people were going through stuff. A lot of people was getting some form of help from what I was doing, even though my situation, I was going through it when I was sharing. I was literally in the middle of everything, probably getting up, not giving things time and just sharing like that. So I've learned over a period, years I would say, to try and share differently. Maybe not to share when I'm really emotional and I'm going through it, because sometimes I might end up saying things that I might not mean but at the time I might mean it, but eventually I might not, you know, just trying to have a little bit more control over how I share. And, you know, I've improved on my sharing. You know, everybody might see me do my vlogs, and, you know, it's all smiles most of the time recently. But, you know, behind the scenes, it's not all smiles. You know, we have our challenges. I've never come and mentioned outright before. Well, my eldest boy, when the situation happened with COVID, it was a hard situation. It's the longest I've been away from him. Couldn't go to see how he's getting on. I've kind of left him behind because I had to give him into care because I just couldn't cope with all of the stuff that was going on. It was just a real challenging time. And then, you know, from my background, I just couldn't cope. And I just, you know, we were kind of background, you do what you're told, and you know, I had to extend that a lot to trying to see things from their point of view and stuff, you know, but it was still not enough, you know, so it was difficult. I was not really myself, you know, and I've got the other children to look after, so I had to do what I had to do to survive. But, you know, since COVID stepped in, he was having a tough time, and I didn't see him for months on end. And, you know, I kind of grow a bit. I went through some tough times, and, you know, even with Tilly with the seizure and stuff like that. And I just decided that I want to give it a go again, and you know, I don't want him to be somewhere else going through it. You know, even though things are not perfect now, he's trying, I'm trying. He still get himself into difficult situations that I'd rather not have to deal with. You know, it's just not perfect. And, you know, my other children, what I've learned, that none of them is perfect, you know, but we just have to try and do what we have to do. I still have struggles, Tilly with her seizures, and doing things that maybe normally she wouldn't be doing. If you see me eyebrowless, that's because, you know, even though it's not huge, when you constantly have your daughter taking away your makeup, when you go to do anything, you can't find things, it wears on you, even though it's minute to life. I do get a bit rattled up, especially when you said after the millionth time, leave my stuff alone, it just doesn't work. I even had to get a safe, and sometimes, you know, I forget to lock the things away, so or go through days with open case. When you go back there's nothing to put on your face. It's just, and when you go to Tilly, you say to her, have you seen my, no, it's always no, I don't touch your stuff, da da da. And you go in there, you find them all the time, and it's just, you know, and just going through different phases with your children, and just the daily life and the daily challenges. It's hard work. It's really tough. So, but I just encourage you all, you know, what I do when I'm going through some really down times is try and find positive things to listen to, or something that's funny, something that makes me laugh, something that I enjoy, or watching someone's life on YouTube. I don't watch TV as much as I used to. I watch a lot of YouTube, and just living vicariously, or what if I don't know if that's the right word, through other people's life and stuff like that. Things that makes me happy, you know. I really try to stay clear of things that doesn't make me happy, things that's negative, things that's gonna make me feel sad or bad about myself. I really try to stay clear about of that. You know, being a parent or is a real challenging thing. But I've learned that, you know, I was helping a lot of people by sharing, you know, my experience. Even in the difficult times, there was a lot of people message me and say things to me, or maybe ask a bit of advice, stuff like that. It can be a little bit overwhelming at times, because sometimes, you know, when you're type of person that takes on things, it can be. But if I can give any advice, trust me, I will, you know, and I do. So you learn that when you're going through hard times, people was watching, but they were actually getting something from it by me sharing. And I've seen like some videos that, you know, someone's there talking, and it's just so relatable. I was watching, I can't remember her name, but I will on another video, and she was just joking and like talking, because she would say things that's very wise and needs to be said, but in a way, in a jovial way, or sometimes she just say on a serious levels. You know, she talking about the fact that even though we're going through a hard time and sometimes you don't see the benefits of what you're going through, you know, don't lose faith, don't lose hope, just push through, because you might not see in this generation, but you're setting yourself up for the generations to become, to help them get through. And it's so true, because, you know, I'm from a Christian background, and my mom used to pray all the time, cry and pray, cry and pray. I used to think to myself, what's wrong with this woman? You know, like, didn't used to understand. And, you know, them days when she started praying, guys, you have to fall in, and, you know, don't make her start praying and you're ready to fall in, and you there wondering and asking, what's wrong with this woman? I never understood it. And I find myself now at my age, when I get older, doing the same thing. It's like you're breaking whatever negative to come. You're giving God thanks. You know, because sometimes no matter how devastating the situation is, there's a light, and, you know, just giving God thanks. You could be safeguarding so much things, recognizing God as your savior. And, you know, some people, you know, I'm not here Bible bashing or anything like this, but, you know, anything that gives you peace, that's what you should be pushing towards. And those prayers was a blessing, you know, and I do it. I pray with my family. You know, even little Angelo now, as soon as he see me on my knees, he's down on his knees with me, and, you know, I'll let him pray, and then I'll pray. And trust me, sometimes you might not be able, when you're young, to see the method in all of what's going on, but trust me, those prayers and those teaching has come through into my life. And I'm sure, you know, I teach my kids, when you're going through hard times, give it up to God, and don't ever think you can't come back from whatever situation you've been in. Don't ever think. And there's another topic I want to touch on briefly as well, about losing your loved ones, you know, death. That's a topic that I used to stay clear of. I used to be fearful of touching on that topic, and I still am in a lot of ways. But I've learned through losing my daughter, my first ever child, when she was a newborn, like she born premature, and she lasted 3 weeks and didn't make it, you know. Yeah, from that experience. Then another close experience I had was when my sister passed from breast cancer. That was some difficult time. That's when I just had Angelo, and I remember just feeling really lost and thinking, you know, what's going on? We knew she was really ill, and we knew that it could happen, but it doesn't make it any easier, you know. It doesn't make it any easier knowing it was some difficult times, and I was unwell at that times. Because, you know, people look on the outer appearance a lot. They look at the outer appearance. You if you look at me, 99% of the time, you wouldn't tell that I've got any issues or anything is wrong. But those times I was ill. Saying to me, oh, are you sure you'll be able to go to the funeral? And you know, Jamaicans are very strong willed and very strong spirited, and you know, sometimes we talk in our local dialect in patois, and you know, we talk very fast and all of these things. And I remember saying, you know, even if I go there and I die, I won't be missing that funeral, which was a bold statement, and I didn't mean it, but that's the convictions that I had to make sure that I made it through the funeral. Because, you know, and from that experience, there's lessons in it that I've learned. There's lessons. I am not that fearful of those situations. When time come, when you're going through some real challenging time, I just give it up to God, and I have the confidence behind it. I really have the confidence behind it. But just pulling in and drawing back to the fact that we're going through difficult times, and it might not be a fight that we can physically see by our eyes. But I'm just trying to express that don't give up, you know, don't give up. Have love in your heart, do good, you know, carry on. If you're doing good and you think, you know, it's not worth it, this person's taking the mickey out of me and stuff, you know, don't let people walk all over you, but keep doing good. Because I remember as a little girl growing up, the story about good follow good, and I'm telling you guys, that is so true. That is so true. I've had experience upon experience upon experience. You know, even when you don't think people think a certain way of you, you don't know what's in their heart. They do. You know, you have the people that don't really, they're not for you, but you have the people that's for you. And I've experienced that a lot through not staying in one place. You know, there's reason behind me moving at times, but I give God thanks that I'm not even fearful, sorry, in those times either. I might be going through it, but I've got confidence and faith and belief that all things happen through the good of Christ. You know, I believe that. So even though it might be not nice at time when you're going through some really dark times or some really difficult times, give it time, and then you'll be able to manage or to live in that situation. And you know, I just want to say a huge thank you for like the support, you know, that I get from people that go above and beyond to support me. I'm so blessed in that area, you know. You guys, if you're out there and you're watching, you know who you are. Really go above and beyond. And I don't really have much support, and I kind of keep myself to myself. But I tell you, the people that support me, and it's not a one-off support, or it's not a support that, you know, which all support is lovely, but I'm telling you, the consistent one that you know, if you call on them, or if you say, you know, you need help in an area, and even when you don't need help, they offer it. I am so thankful, I'm so grateful, and I just hope to God that I get to the point that I'm in a stage where I can be of such help to somebody else. Because I remember as well, I share this with you as well, for those who don't know, and I'm rubbish with name, guys, but the guy that played Black Panther shared his story about when he realized and found out where his help came from. It was from Denzel Washington, you know, and he passed away this year as well. And he's made such a great impact in this world and to people, you know, in a positive way, just to lift them up and say to be proud of who you are. You know, sometimes you don't know who's going to help you and what the significant meaning behind that, but it's just so amazing for those people that would help by donating or giving their support on a daily to somebody that needs it. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. And I'm truly thankful for those people. And I do feel, not blowing my own horn, that I'm that sort of person. And I'm just glad that God put people in my life that can be that for me also. It's incredible. I hope this video helps, guys. Sometimes I feel like it's a bit all over the place, but I hope it helps. So I just want to say, you know, whoever's going through some struggle, try and give things time. And if you give it too much time and you feel like I'll give it enough time and it's still not working, give it more time and try and extend your patience and push through. And think about this as a war, because I know when I hear stories about the war that happened in like World War I or II, III, you know, I'm not good with history either, guys. I never, you know, but I hear the stories where families used to have to help each other, like, and do so much things. It's like you have to scale back and do things from a place of love, a place of caring and stuff. And I encourage us in this time, even though it might not be a physical war that we can see with our eyes, that we will do the same and we'll push through, because there's so much people out there that do help, you know. There's so much different stories I can touch on of where the help come from. Once you have a bit of faith and courage and, you know, your heart is in the right place, the help will come. And, you know, anybody who's going through any difficult times, I just want to say lots of love, lots of blessing. Just keep pushing forward. Don't give up, you know, never give up. I am a true testimony of somebody that does not give up. You just keep going and give God thanks. Once you have breath, once you have life, you keep pushing forward. You keep going and you don't give up. That's what I just want to leave with you guys. Don't give up and don't feel like you're in this alone or you're the only one that's there's so much stuff that's going on. It's mind-boggling. But what we're going to do, we can't lie down and take it. We have to push forward and keep moving and keep giving thanks and keep nurturing our family even through the difficult times when you just feel like you just want to lose it and you just don't want to be doing it, etc. We just keep pushing forward and keep moving forwards and doing our best at all times. Just try, you know, even if you mess up, you try, you can improve, you can change, you can do it again, you know. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, share and subscribe, guys. It's not all the time you're gonna see me with a polished look, you know. You want to wee? Okay, Papa, good boy. You know what to do. Yeah, so yeah, keep moving forward. These times is to test to see what we're made of. Is to see what we're made of. And even though we are weary at times and even though we're down, keep pushing forward and keep being around the ones that lift you up, that lifts you up, to make you feel happy inside, that's there for you. And if you can be there for somebody else, likewise do so as well. And, you know, have your standard. Don't drop your standard for anybody that you would just want to be doing whatever. You just do what you know is right, do what you know is best. And yeah, like I was saying, guys, if you can't look after you can't look after anyone else. Keep the faith, keep shining, keep smiling, keep pushing and moving forward. Until next time, I'll see you guys in another video. Bye, guys.